Good afternoon. This is Talking Trade Live with On the Tools, sponsored by our friends over at Toolstation today. The topic this week is why are there not enough people coming through into construction, an industry that we work in and we all love. So why are we not getting youngsters through? And to help me discuss this, ironically, it's two sparks, Karen and Andy. So welcome to you both. We've already had some comments through about why we all feel there's not enough people coming through. The stats are worrying, the amount of people retiring. I think it's 30% of bricklayers retiring in the next 10 years. I don't see many apprentices coming through. Karen, why aren't we getting people into our great industry?
Well, I think I've got lots of conclusions about that. So I'll start with the first one. And I can base this on my personal experience because I've got children that have been through the education system. A, we're not teaching our children to work with their hands, and B, we are giving them the false perception that unless they go to college or university, they haven't achieved anything, which is really, really sad. And C, the apprenticeship model has got to compete with the new degree apprenticeships that are out there. People can get paid and get a degree at the same time, and the apprenticeship rate is really, it's less than the minimum living wage. So why would a highly intelligent young person want to work for peanuts? We don't give them enough sort of role models to look at and say, look, being in trade is a fantastic place to be. I personally earn more than the headmaster, but nobody knows that, do they?
Well, the whole PR around construction, you looked at, we talked before we came on air, if you're at school and a bit thick and struggling, you're pushed into construction rather than if you want to try a different trade than, being office-based or whatever. Andy, Karen's 3 points seem to be the most popular looking through the comments. Have you got anything in why you feel we're not getting youngsters through? Obviously, there's the other side of it, as Daniel Evans has said, because they don't want to get dirty and actually work for money.
That's right.
Is that the youth of today, as our oldies are saying?
Yeah, I know. I don't want to sound like an old man, but it just is. I've got 3 kids here, all boys now, and I just went and asked them just before we came on. I said, do you ever get told about trades or practical work at school? No, never been told to do that. And they just want to be like YouTubers or TikTokers. They think they watch these guys on YouTube that make millions of pounds, and we can't do anything about it, unfortunately, because that's just the age we're in, and they aspire to be like these guys on YouTube. And the only way that my kids know about trades is because I'm in it myself. They wouldn't know from school because schools actually don't talk about trades at all. I can't remember, because it's such a long time ago I was at school. I can't remember whether we did get spoken about to it at school. I can't remember being spoken about, because my dad was in trades. That's what drew me to that. So schools don't push us at all, and there's a poor perception of trades anyway, isn't there, in the community, unfortunately.
Well, that's it. Karen, what age do we need to start talking to kids about construction as a career? Because as Andy has said, and a lot of comments coming in, we don't get told anything at school apart from, oh, you're a bit thick, go and dig a hole.
Well, I've got a couple of views on that. Number one is we tend to make things very stereotypical. So, for example, I remember when my kids were little, we had like Bob the Builder, and Bob went round doing stuff, and Wendy went round sweeping up after him and basically answering the phone. I think that's really sad. And let's say that your son had actually grown up wanting to be Bob the Builder. By the time he gets to the SAT level of our education system, they are indoctrinated into thinking that unless they, it's a bit like there's that famous Einstein quote, isn't it? And it's a picture of a tree, and there's a picture of 4 animals. I think it's a fish, an elephant, a monkey, and a tiger. And the quote is, how is the fish going to feel like trying to climb the tree? Because fish can't climb trees, but fish might make amazing plasterers, for example. But we don't measure our children's happiness. We just measure their level of perceived intellectual intelligence. And I think that's where we're going wrong. So really, we need to start really young, you know, rather than teaching them about history, why don't we allocate that hour a week to let's get practical, you know, let's understand how electricity works, let's understand how water flows, you know, and let them be investigative and curious and creative. You know, the only creative thing they get to do is art. It's just bonkers. So I just think the earlier the better, really.
Well, the great thing is we're getting a lot of comments in, but there's quite a high percentage from teenagers, which is brilliant because they're the people we need to talk to get in. Matthew Morris, he's sadly backed up what you said, Karen. He's 15. His school wants to push him into university. I'm the complete opposite of the normal. I want to work on a building site. I want to work with my hands, but schools don't really support it. Matthew, thank you for the comment.
It's not,
Andy,
he's not opposite to normal. That is normal. Don't think you're strange because you want to do that.
No, Matthew, I would say, listen, you do what you want to do, mate.
Yeah,
other comments
exactly.
coming in from youngsters, yes, it's true. If you do well, like any career, you can earn good money. In construction, you know, look at my two guests today, they're sparks. You know, their day rate is $2,000 just to get out of bed. But anyway, that's another story. Andy,
1995.
Let's go back to the apprenticeships written by old people in suits in an office that probably don't know what a trowel looks like. Back to the comment a few weeks ago, do we need more trades involved with apprenticeships so people actually go into a building site, residential, commercial, more qualified? Because they're not great.
Yeah, I mean, our whole country's got that problem where the wrong people are in political roles like that. They at school, it should be, your question to Karen earlier was what age should it be brought in? It should be brought in at a really early age. I mean, when kids are young, they always get little toolkits, don't they, to play with, and that sort of goes out the window. But it should be people like us advising other, you know, the schools and universities, whoever wants to get involved in it, apprenticeship bodies, we should be the ones involved because we are the ones out on the tools doing the stuff, and we know what it was like to be young and wanting to go into that. I mean, I've done loads of different jobs. I started off as an electrician. I've been an ambulance paramedic and a marketing director, which sounds crazy, but I come back to be an electrician because that's the one that I can go out and sort of go in people's houses and make a lot of noise and use my hands. And yeah. People I don't think the school kids sort of get that drummed into them. And we about you being thick and that young lad then saying that he's not normal because he wants to do something different. More like kind of indoctrinated into thinking that that's not normal. And back in the years, everybody would have left school and done a trade, but now everybody is told to go to university. When I was at school, it was like the really, really top kids that went to university. They're going to be doctors and things. All the rest of us got jobs, but it seems to me now that they want everybody to go to university. We are really shooting by doing that.
Apologies for the technical difficulties. Both Karen and Andy are up in Stratford-upon-Avon, where I believe the thunderstorms are going mad. So if it looks like Andy's doing some strange dance, it's purely technical and not something he's had for breakfast. So apologies for that. Karen, Andy's point is very valid, that we do need to go into schools and talk to them about great careers, prospects. You know, how many people at school know all the different opportunities in construction? It's not just electrician, plumber, you know, Tyler. Who should do it though? Because we're all busy people.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
Who should do it? Well, you know, in Australia, there's a great initiative, and it's called SALT, which stands for Supporting and Linking Tradeswomen. Now, what they do is they've got a massive truck and they've got a massive trailer, and they go around to all schools and they set up like chop saws and, you know, hammers and chisels, and they get involved in showing young girls specifically what is possible. Now, you could change that to supporting and linking trades people, and then you could make it, you know, gender inclusive. It doesn't have to be, you know, one or the other. The government could set that up as an initiative. I'd be really happy to drive my truck around the country and get my drills out and my, you know, SDS out and bloody wire up a consumer unit and show people how not to go bang. That really excites me. And yeah, I just think that we just don't have enough initiatives like that. It's kind of like, I'm going to say something extremely controversial here, right?
Go on then, Karen.
Go on then, let's do it. So for the past, I don't know, because I've only been involved in construction for 10 years. So I don't know how long this broken apprenticeship model and broken school system model has been going on. But if you think about this logically, we've now got however many years worth of that caliber of person, like all the people that are deemed stupid are now at the top of their game, and they're the people that are leading everyone else. I mean, you know, why do we do that? Personally, I don't want an electrician to come and work in my house who wasn't clever enough to do anything else. I'd much rather have somebody that actually thought, do you know what, I really want to be an electrician because I want to be the best electrician that I could be. You know, it's just bonkers.
Well, we've got a great testimonial to exactly what you just said, Karen. Exactly what you just said. Stephen Barrett has sent a comment in. This is Stephen Barrett that I'm pretty sure won Carpenter of the Year at On the Tools Awards last year. And he said, I left school at 14 and doing a lot better than most of my mates that stayed at school, including the ones that went to college. He was Carpenter of the Year last year. His work is phenomenal. And now he's got a very successful building company. And he left school at 14. It's not all doom and gloom, because look at him now. He's flying. Carpenter of the Year last year.
You know what? My mantra is, I can and I will propel you far further than IQ. Just right there. Because I really haven't got any qualifications at all. You know, I left college. I went to be a medical secretary and I hated it. Then I went to hotel and catering college and I got a diploma in hotel and catering management, which I loved, but realized that there was really no money in it because it's unsociable hours. And so then I ironically got a temping job at a plumbing and heating merchant. And I really loved that. And they trained me. They made me their first sort of YTS trainee. And I kind of learned the business from the ground up. And then I got into IT because of that. And then I ended up being global IT training manager for a top law firm. And then I had a career break to have my children. And then I thought, what am I going to do now? Because I don't really want to go back to IT because it had moved on too quickly. And I didn't want to go back to working in the city. And then I had this light bulb moment, pardon the pun. And I thought, oh, do you know what? I think I'd quite like to be an electrician. But in all of the careers that I've had, and I turned 50 last year, this is the job that I love the most, you know. So, and this is the job that I feel most passionately about. I love being my own boss. I love commanding my own terms. You know, I love the fact that I can choose to work for who I want to work for. You know, customers don't get to run me. I can choose to run my jobs. And that's really empowering. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
There's a lot of good points, good comments coming in. Apologies if I can't read them all out. This is Talking Trade Live with On the Tools. This week's topic is, why aren't we getting enough people into construction? Please send comments in. This is your chance to get everything off your chest, chuck a few ideas around, because, as we've said over the last few weeks, great industry just needs to change somewhat. Now, Andy, very well-known electrician, but bless him, he can't even wire his internet up. Are you back with us? He's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Karen, it's you and me.
My show.
Just going back through some of the comments, there was a very interesting one here. Well, is this a problem? Daniel Evans, people are allergic, certainly youngsters, to hard work these days. That's the problem. Is it easier for youngsters to pick up an iPad and play around with the internet than come and graft?
Well, I think that unfortunately we've raised a generation of children that think it's perfectly acceptable to go on Love Island, become a social influencer and earn millions of pounds. You know, that's the sad reality of it. You know, we create this perception that all that fame and all that money is what you should really aspire to. But are they really happy? I mean, you know, it's fake reality to me. I just think people live in a bubble. You know, people think that everything that happens on EastEnders is real life. For goodness sake, I just, you know, I don't understand it. But what do I know?
Well, Karen, question straight to you. Sorry, Andy, I know you're back. Just a quick question to Karen from Emma Thompson. She's training to become an electrician in September in the Cambridge area. What do you suggest for finding work experience during this private paid course?
Finding work experience is hard. You kind of need to find a mentor, really. There's loads of support on social media. There's quite a lot of Facebook groups specifically for women in the trades. You've got the amazing people like you know, Sparky Ninja, who has created a fantastic resource of completely free training material that's all available on YouTube. You know, I say to people, I'm always happy to have a chat with them, to network, to put them in touch with people. And it's all about just finding, when I started working, I worked for nothing. I, you know, basically just phoned round electricians and said, can I just come and watch you? And they were like, well, you're weird, but yes, if you want to. And then you kind of just get to know people, and then they get to know you, and then your confidence grows. And once you've got your qualifications, you know, you can get out there and just start doing stuff. So, yeah.
Andy, Nick Jones, this is great. I'm so pleased that we can help people and give advice. So what I was going to say before this question, if anyone's watching in Cambridge and could offer one of the guests one of the viewers some work experience, please get in touch with On The Tools Facebook page, and we're more than happy to put you in touch. Andy, Nick Jones has asked, he's 28, currently working finance, you poor man. And hence he's looking for a career change into either plumbing or electrical work. What's your advice? Look for an apprenticeship or take one of those crash courses? Great question.
Well, Nick's 28, so I'm not sure what the apprenticeship wages are for that age band, but I know it'll be quite a drop for you in wages if you did an apprenticeship. You should be looking probably at an adult traineeship, which would be the best way to go. But you're at the perfect age. I mean, I did my apprenticeship when I was 20. I'm glad I did it then instead of being 16, because I don't think your mind's not fully mature at 16, 17. You don't really want to learn anything. So it is much better to do the learning if you're a little bit older, if you've got that ability to do that. So there's lots of ways you can do it. I mean, you can go to different companies, see if they will offer you an adult traineeship. They may do that. Or you can, of course, pay for yourself to go to college and university. But I would just say, just do like a proper college course, because in the electrical field, especially us at the moment, we're seeing a lot of people that do like a 4-week course for about £3,000, and then they come out on the road, and then they're claiming to be just as qualified and experienced as we are. And one of the things we do at the moment is EICRs, which are electrical reports on they brought a law in to put it on rental properties. And I know some of these quick turnaround electricians are doing some of these EICRs, but they will not have the experience to find things and look for faults and to know how to code something. So the best way ever to learn in a trade is to be by someone's side, another electrician, and stay with them for a few years if you can, whilst doing your training. And I think that's the best way to learn. The 4-week courses, they teach you all the theory, but they won't teach you the practical stuff that is what you really need, not the experience.
Well, I didn't go to college, university, or have study for an apprenticeship. I went and did what Karen said. I went and stood alongside some people that were incredibly skilled. And I've got to mention him again. I've mentioned him before. An old bricklayer years ago, Dick the Brick. If you look up bricklayer in the dictionary, there's a picture of him. He had a bald head, roll-up bag, no teeth, tracksuit bottoms halfway down his bum, massive belly. I tell you what, you never see a better bricklayer. He was superb. And what I learned of him, just standing next to him, you know, knocking up some muck, cleaning the mixer, whatever I was doing, is invaluable. You cannot learn that in a classroom. One thing I'm loving about this week's show, we've got a load of teenagers getting in touch, which is what we want, because we're talking about why aren't we getting more people into construction. Reese Truesdale, he's 15. Do you know what, Reese? You're a legend, mate. I love this comment, and fair play to you. He's 15 and he only wants to be a chippy because his dad is. If it was my school's way, I'd be nowhere now because they cancelled my woodwork lesson because it cost too much. But thanks to my dad, listen to this, he converted his garage to a workshop.
Oh,
Reese, that is brilliant.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, Reese, let us know where you are in the country and we'll put a shout out to any carpenters looking for someone to give them a hand or even, you know, take you on, because if you can do that at your age, mate, you're a damn sight better than a lot of carpenters out there. And that is credit to you and your dad. So that is brilliant. Few more comments. Yeah, Bradley Jackson, Andy, he backs your comment up. Crash course equals cowboy. So, yeah, we're off and running with that one. Neil Sayers, he came out of construction, even though he loved it. This is the flip side of the coin. I was just sick of 0-hour contracts. Since leaving, I've become much more financially stable, mortgage, etc. Such a shame too few people want to take people on permanently. So this is another point, Karen. The self-employed, you're your own boss, loads of positives, but a lot of negatives. You might do really well one day or nothing the next day. But have we got a problem that the big sites are taking people on, but not paying them much, expecting too much, and then can easily just let them go?
Massively. I mean, yeah, I've got to be in my bonnet about that. You know, I don't get involved in site work. Fortunately, I don't need to. I think it is a shame that at college, youngsters are not shown the route into domestic. Just picking up on something Andy said, if you go and do a short course now, you will not be accepted by a CPS scheme until you can show that you've got at least 2 years experience, I think it is. So you won't be able to notify work. You won't be able to do EICRs under their banner unless you've got a valid inspection and testing certificate. I also think that, you know, yeah, the whole kids trying to get in. It's interestingly, it's A-level results day today, Andy. I don't know if you knew that. So yes. There'll be a lot of young people out there thinking, well, what am I going to do now? You know, there's a lot of debate about the way that the grades have been done this year because the kids never actually got to take their exams. You know, my daughter, for example, is absolutely gutted because she's only spent the last 14 years being institutionalized by the education system, being told that unless she achieves a certain level of education, she's worth nothing. She hasn't got the grades that she hoped to get. And now I've got the job of building her self-esteem back up again that the education system has knocked out of her. And it just makes me really, really, really angry that they don't support the children that really, you know, would be better suited or could, you know, be better equipped to, you know, be more empowered by being their own boss and, you know, working on the tools. I just think, I don't know where we start to fix it. It's quite a big problem. It's a bit disheartening, which is why I personally, and I know people like Andy, and there's a whole load of other people that I could mention, are out here on social media, not saying, look at me, I'm amazing, but saying, look at us, this is what is possible with a positive mindset, with the right role models. When I went to college, I did the Forbidden Short course. I was horrified because my background is training. I was taught to pass exams, not to understand how bloody electricity works. I was absolutely mortified. And I came away, you know, not knowing how to do two-way switching. I was like, oh, I've been on a 9-week course, but I still don't actually understand, you know, two-way switching. Well, thank God for YouTube, you know, thank God for Google. Thank God for some decent publications out there. Thank God for decent Sparkies that didn't think that I was absolute stupid for not understanding it, you know. So for me, it's all about paying it forward. It's about being the change. It's about, you know, just trying to help people get a step on the ladder.
Well, another message to everybody watching. Daniel Murray has said, if there's any trades in the Shrewsbury, Shropshire area who would be willing to take someone who's desperate to get into trade work, please get in touch with On the Tools Facebook page. That's Shrewsbury, Shropshire. Anybody up there looking, take an apprentice on, a young lad who's desperate to get into construction, please let On the Tools know, because it'd be great to put him in touch with somebody. And listen, he could be the next big thing. Everybody keen to get into the industry needs a damn good shot at it. Andy Wilcox, couple of quick questions coming in. Really, my concern is, we've sort of touched upon it, but not just the social media and the internet side of things. We can sit here on laptops and make money, or kids can, but when we didn't have that when we were learning. And is there a fear that we've got, 3 or 4 comments have said it, we've got a load of snowflakes coming through that even giving them the opportunity, so, oh, my back, oh, I've broken a fingernail.
Well, it is a generational thing, unfortunately. But there is, I don't think they get told about it at school. So all they see at school, as we've already mentioned, about going to university and things like that. But on the internet, we're just seeing like, my kids watch this guy called Mr. Beast, who makes millions of dollars per video that he puts out, and then he goes around. Fair play to him, he gives out millions of dollars to people out on the street. But my kids see that and think that is the way to make money. To be, and, you know, for some people that could be the way, but they at school they do not go in and say. And there's something called the Baker Clause, which is actual something that they're trying to enforce in law, where children are told in secondary schools and given all the options about apprenticeships and trades. But that is not happening at the moment, because I don't know, not many school teachers have been trained to people, have they? So I feel quite passionate about it, that it starts in the schools. And yeah, we do have some snowflake people, but as it proves, the people that have been just typing the comments today, you know, that's the guys that we need to get in and harness and grab hold of them and get them out before they're brainwashed, going, oh, no, you don't want to do that. Because when we were at school, it was always, oh yes, you don't want to end up like Matey Boy, the carpenter, or you don't want to end up like him. We earn more money than... I probably earn more money than the people that have gone that went to university from my school, because I work for myself and I'm a skilled tradespeople, but they don't get told that. So if you're 14, 15, 16 listening to this, I assure you, you can probably make more money than some of your people that want to go to university, and you can work for yourself, and you can get paid to learn. You don't get that at university, and you won't get a 50 grand debt when you leave university. So there's so many positives to go for it. It's just a stigma we've got around it, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that was my next point, is people considering construction, having an apprentice. Okay, look, the wages of what apprenticeships start on is another subject for another day. I personally don't think it's enough, because it's not even minimum wage, but you're getting paid to learn. Okay, it's not great money, but then you're qualified, and then you can either work for someone or become self-employed, and you're not 50 grand in debt, having studied some, you know, old degree like history, and you don't even know what you want to do with your life. So rather than being 50 grand in debt, you could already have your first apartment, flat, whatever, and become a successful trade. And we've had a few comments. Sorry, it's jumped off the bottom. Karen, where was it? Here, James Barber, teachers are the problem, full stop.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. My daughter was studying physics at A-level, and her teacher phoned me last summer to just say, oh, you know, I hope Zoe, you know, is enjoying physics. She's a grade A student. She would make a fantastic women in STEM, because obviously there is a big push at the moment to get more girls and women into the STEM, you know, arena, and to go into something engineering. You know, I was on BBC Essex a little while ago. Oh, as actually this day. I was on BBC Essex discussing A-level results day, and there was a fantastic young lady who had secured a degree apprenticeship with Ford. She was just finishing it, so she's done a 3-year degree apprenticeship with Ford. She's been paid a fantastic wage. She's now a fully qualified engineer, and as long as she stays with them for a minimum of 2 years, she doesn't have to pay any of her tuition back. I personally think the apprenticeship route, the apprenticeship model needs to be remodeled. Why can't we have degree level apprenticeships, A, but B, you know, the government should be paying me to have an apprentice. You know, I shouldn't have to pay for an apprentice. The government should be paying me, full stop. A, I can't afford it, and B, I don't work. When I say I don't work every day, I don't go to work every day. You know, I try and plan to go to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is my day for me, and Friday is my contingency catch up on paperwork day. So the apprenticeship model doesn't really work for me, because I could take them out with me, you know, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But what am I going to do with them on a Thursday and Friday? I know they're probably going to go to college one day. What am I going to do with them for the 5th day? But I still need to pay them, you know. So it's just bonkers. Why aren't the government saying to me, here you go, Karen, here's you know, here's 10 grand. That's your money to pay your apprentice for the next year. Why aren't they doing that?
Well, I'm going to have to go back to my new little mate, Reese Truesdale, the one we were talking about that just turned his dad's garage into a workshop. He just sent another comment in. Reese, please send us in a message where you are again. Remind us where you're based. He also sells things like benches, bird boxes and planters. This guy's 15. To me, he's going to be an incredible carpenter, and probably what you're doing, your initiative, Reese, work for yourself, mate, you know, because what you're doing at that age is brilliant. Stephen Barrett, who we mentioned before, Carpenter of the Year on the Tools Awards last year, he sent a message in saying he'd love to find a young lad who wants to be in the trade and is willing to learn. I can't remember. Stephen is, I think, Maidenhead way. Reese, let us know where you are, because if you guys are near, we've just got the marriage from heaven. Actually, that sounds a bit weird. Let's move on from that. So finishing off, we've got about 5 minutes left. We're talking about A-level results day, quite aptly. Why are we not getting enough of these kids into construction? Final few minutes with Andy and Karen, both Sparks. Business owners, Daniel Evans, a lot of good comments. Dan, where is it? Fine off the page. Business owners struggle to find people who are reliable to work hard and will turn up to work. This is the problem. The hardest trade for me to find, Andy, and it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on it, is a labourer, because they are late, they're pissheads, they smoke a bit too much green, they're stuck to their phones and they don't like graft. Is this the state of the industry? Have you got enough decent youngsters that are up for it?
Yeah, I was just thinking before I came on, actually, I've got my son's friends here, so I've got 3 kids here now. And all of them are just constantly on their phone, and we can't really blame it. That's the lifestyle they're in now. Having a phone in your hand is almost like breathing for like a kid. They have to be, and they get separation anxiety if you take. We're going camping with Phil No Electric next week. They're gonna have a nightmare. So it is sort of normal for them to be on site and to be on their phones all the time, and that is very frustrating for us when we're trying to get them to do something, because it's just really scrolling all the time. So that is something. So guys, 15-year-olds, if you're listening and you're going out to go on site, do not be on your phone all the time, because that will piss the people off that you're working with. I'll show you that now. So the labour thing, mine's roofers. I couldn't get a roofer for level money. That was hard, and I don't use labour, so I can't empathise with you on that one. But it is a thing that happens. Always in our day, we had people the same, you know, that acted like that as well. But it just seemed to happen a bit more these days. I think another thing I'd love to go into schools and teach people is entrepreneurship, because that makes that lad then saying he makes bird boxes and sell them. That's bloody amazing. So if you if you can make it, you sell it for a quid, and you've made a profit, maybe more than a quid. That just gives you that sense of entrepreneurship. And if you had entrepreneurship like us 3 have, and the trades on the side, you can just see so many possibilities. If you get taken down the educational route of university, they do not talk about entrepreneurship as much as we would, especially I see most electricians, they seem to all work for themselves these days. When I was an apprentice, I worked for a massive company, but there seems to be a lot of just single man or sole traders, single lady sole traders, sorry Karen, out on the road these days. I think in the future, it just seems that everybody's going to work for themselves. And it just gives customers so much more opportunity to choose someone right for their business, just than relying on the electricity boilers who I did my apprenticeship with.
Well, we sadly are running out of time. I think it's a great day that we, Neil Allen, legend, 35 years old, he's on his phone. The reason you're on your phone, mate, you're watching this and hopefully giving some input and also maybe learning something or You know, you're not having a row with like the other labourers do. We coming to the end. We've been talking on A-level results day, which is quite apt, and it's been great to have so many teenagers asking questions. Why are we not getting so many into construction? Great industry. Comments have been showing you can make good money as any trade if you do it properly and learn off the right people and get good experience. Just to finish off with, Karen, you are elevated into Boris's position, and your first task is to get more people into construction. What's the first three things you'd do?
Right, first three things I'd do. Number one, I would seriously think about the fact that there's a lot of trades that are about to retire. It's something ridiculous, like 80% of tradespeople are like over 40. So you've got to tap into that. You've got to tap into that knowledge base, first of all, and that would involve making it worth my while to have an apprentice. Number one. Number two, get into schools really early, get rid of some of these tosh subjects that are pointless, and get some practical things going on. The problem that the government are going to have is who's going to do it, because all the teachers only teach tosh. So there's going to be quite a lot of retraining that's needed there. And number three, you know, get some bloody careers advisors that can actually give careers advice accurately, you know, and so that our children can be better guided.
Andy, same question to you, mate. You're, don't know, there's a little bit similarity the way you look with Boris, but anyway, would you, what's the first three things you'd do? Because as you say, you've had different jobs as well, so you've got more experience from marketing, etc., to call upon. How are we getting more people in?
Well, first of all, I think we got to get into the kids. So if I was him, I would do a campaign, which is basically just a massive advertiser campaign, which would probably all based on social media. So I don't really think 15-year-olds are really on Facebook these days, but I would use that. And then you've got TikTok and you've got Snapchat and you've got so many different social medias that you can use paid advertiser for. We just have to change their minds through some sort of campaign that a trade is a good way to go. And then also, there should be, I mean, we've got DIY SOS, which is quite a good program for trades because they show a little bit of banter and stuff there, but there needs to be more TV stuff based on like trades and what you can do with it. So I know something like you know, like The Apprentice. Probably The Apprentice is all based on boardroom stuff where they have to wear, they always wear a tie, aren't they, all the time, no matter what they're doing, even like making cakes. Even in that, they could do like a trades one, or do a trades version of that, just so people watch that and go, bloody hell, I could earn much more money by doing this. And also tell them, by the way, if you're listening 15-year-olds, you can go all around the world. You can work anywhere in the world with a UK trade certificate under your belt. You can go to Australia tomorrow if you want. Thirdly, we just need the tradespeople ourselves, the business owner needs more incentive from the government. They're trying to bring more things at the moment, this month actually, as we speak, to incentivize us to take them on, but they need to come up with something really good, you know, like Karen said, for them to pay their wages or something different to incentivize us to bring people on. That's the three things I do. We just got to change our minds and realize that actually you don't have to go to university to earn quite good money and have a good life.
Well, that's
it. Can I just add to that, though? Can I just add to that really quickly? The problem that I have with DIY SOS is that it's all men, and the interior designer is a woman, and that is something that really needs to change, because for our children, you can't be what you can't see. So for all the young girls out there, if they can't see a female role model doing something like a trade, how are they ever going to want to be it?
Yeah, I think. Listen, we're running out of time, but I've worked a fair bit in TV on Channel 4 and BBC. They only want us tradespeople to be perceived in a bad light. Cowboy builders, cowboy trap, all of those. It makes better TV rather than. Have you seen what this stonemason just built with his bare hands? Look how incredible that is. Look how much he's grafted, the experience he's gained from it, and also DIY SOS. You're right, Karen. It's got the totally wrong. I mean, it's not a happy place. I know a lot of lads that give their time on that, and I think it's coming to an end from what I've heard. But anyway, we are wrapping up. I wish all the people with A-level results the best today. If for whatever reason you haven't got the results you wanted, and you're looking to get into the trade, message on the Tools Facebook page, because we've got a lot of people looking for youngsters to get in and train them. And people like Stephen Barrett, Carpenter of the Year. Good God, if I was young, I'd be working with him straight away. So this has been Talking Trade Live with On the Tools. How are we getting more into construction? Judging by the viewers and comments, we may have just slowly started kickstarting this. Thank you to Andy and Karen, both electricians. And if one of you can come and unwire this lamp, which has been hardwired into my shoulder, that would be great, because it's been there throughout the whole show. Have a great afternoon all, and see you next week.
Bye.